first thing is first, I am going to take some time and get this all cleaned up, because next time we have an issue, if we have an issue, not saying we're going to, but I guess, well, I guess it's inevitable. All cars have issues at some point. You always find the weakest link at some point. But with that being said, we're going to take some time here, get this cleaned up. I'm not going to make it perfect, guys. As you guys all know, I'm not, trying to make this a show car or be the nicest car you see driving down the road or anything like that. But I would ultimately like it to be presentable. Not that you'll ever see stuff like this, but like I said, this here is pretty much it. If we do have an issue, I can pinpoint where the issue is coming from, and pretty much just cleaning up pre-existing leaks that we have had. So I'm gonna take some time here, guys, and get all this cleaned up so that it actually is easier to find a leak or an issue if we have one. That chunk of metal is never a good sign. We'll look into that. A little easier. So we're pretty much just cleaning up the existing. We know the oil pressure sending unit leaked, so it's pretty much we're just cleaning that up at this point. But she looks good right there so far. I do want to clean this, the actual carriage, subframe, whatever you want to call it, but I don't think we're going to do that. I don't want to say I don't have time, but I sort of don't have the energy to put into that. Not that it would take much, but at this point I don't want to waste energy when I don't have to. Sort of like I'm wasting it right now as I clean the starter and things you guys will never ever see, but alrighty. That all looks like it's actually still in perfect shape from when we took it apart. So let's get the clutch torn apart here off the motor. I'm actually standing in the engine bay, so let's get this torn off over here. We also got to get the crank pulley off, and the clutch obviously, but let's start tearing this down the rest of the way, guys. We're gonna go ahead and, this is actually getting paint for the trailer, which I'm okay with because we are actually going to paint this entire trailer at some point. So as you can see here, we already have this one pretty much coated. Go ahead and get this one coated, and this isn't permanent or anything, it's just kind of some engines, some engine heat up to 500. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and coat it and go from there. Now I'm not going to scuff it or anything because I don't need it to be perfect, nor do I care, but we're going to toss it on there because, hell, why not? Woo, I was doing it blindly and came so close. We're going to get the motor laid down here, and a buddy of mine, Josh, he's got a engine stand, so we're going to run over to his place, grab the engine stand, and we'll be able to swap everything over a lot easier. So I'm gonna go sit down for a couple minutes and we're gonna head over to his place. Well, guys, I guess now's a good time. I wasn't gonna tell you guys, but I found what this piece was actually to. This is where you become a man, when you can admit your faults, admit your mistakes. And I incorrectly installed the clutch that I put in this car. So as you can see here, I'm not sure how well you can see how half of the bolt is shiny and the other half is not. Well, these are the flywheel bolts that hold, obviously, the flywheel to the crank. And yeah, you can see every single one of them here is shiny on one side, not on the other. So I will admit it at this point, guys, I made a mistake. It obviously didn't do anything. The car still ran fantastic. You know, it still did a 10.6 at 132. So we know the car, you know, the clutch was holding out. Obviously I had a couple, I think I had one 1.6 60 foot and the rest were 1.6 1.7s. And I think there was a 1.8 in there also, somewhere along the line. So at least we know that this clutch held up. I'll show you here on the back part there, where you see where it's like rubbed in half the whole way around. So I'll admit it, guys, I messed up. I installed the clutch incorrectly. I guess I have these backwards. They were numbered, however, I guess my number sequence was backwards from what I would have done. So who knows, we are going to actually reinstall this clutch back into the car because it is an RPS carbon twin disc. So mistakes do happen. You learn from your mistakes and you grow. That's one of the ways you grow as an adult, as a human, is learning from your mistakes. So we're going to actually install this plate here first because that's the one that goes on, and then it's the second one, and then this is the third. So we're going to switch that up, and I'm not sure it's going to perform any better on the track, but at least it will be installed correctly. And there you have it, guys. I even made a mistake. You know, mistakes do happen. So I got this ready to come off. As you can see there, she is off. Everything looks good on here. You can see it's not a rear main seal leaking or anything like that, due to the fact that there's no oil residue or anything on here. So let's go ahead and get everything reinstalled here and start plugging and chugging. Now I did get the timing cover off. Let me set this down here. I did get the timing cover off of this. I have the motor mount off. We are getting ready to drop the pan. Everything in here looks great, guys. I mean, it is a very, very clean motor. So I'm glad that I sold it when I did. I'm glad, you know, the guy, I can look in and see the cam, everything like that looks good. So I'm glad that the guy's gonna be able to use this motor. And I highly doubt that he's gonna be revving it out and beating on it the way I was or Mike was. So this guy's definitely getting a very clean motor inside. Everything looks very good. When I take the oil pan out, we'll see if there's any shavings or anything like that. But I drained the oil and everything looked really good. So we're gonna keep chugging away here, guys, and hopefully I should be able to get the 6.0 dropped in and at least bolted in place. I'm not gonna try to go too crazy, but I would like to at least get it bolted in place today. Today is obviously Tuesday, and the call out is Saturday. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do, guys, so let me keep going. I probably won't record too much of this. You might see a couple things here and there, but I really want to get to work, guys. I got a lot to do. It's kind of hard to come out, turn the camera on, and, you know, record while you're not really feeling 100%, but I'm gonna try, guys. So let's get these motors moved around. I did borrow an engine stand from my buddy Josh. So Josh, if you're watching, thank you very much. Let's get the LS1 on that engine stand so we can drop the pan. This motor here, we're going to try to actually drop the pan on the engine hoist. So one of them's up, swap it over real quick, then we'll lay this one down, and then we'll put this one on the engine stand and finish buttoning it up, get our RTV and everything, seal up everything, go get new water pump gaskets, and we should be good to go, guys. So I'm gonna keep plugging and chugging here, guys. Again, I'm glad that I caught this mistake now. I mean, not that I thought it would do any different or any other damage. You can see even there's some bearing material sitting in there. some metal material sitting up there. So, you know, I'm glad we caught it when we caught it, guys. And that clutch actually in this car had about 2,500 miles on it. So, I mean, at least it wasn't a huge costly mistake. Man, I cannot believe that we found that and caught it when we did. Not to say, I don't think it would have caused any further damage, guys, but definitely glad that we caught that. Well, at the very least, I know I won't have any wildlife around here. I went ahead and already got the broken studs already out of it. As you can see here, I had 5 that actually broke, but we got 4 of them out. One of them is in the back of, it will be the passenger side cylinder head. I don't really have time to drill it out. We'll do it at a later date. I'm sure this is not gonna be the last time this motor is out of this car, and if it is, you know, worst case to worst, we're gonna end up getting another set of heads or get these worked. So when we get these worked later on down the road, we will go ahead and take care of it then. But for now, it's not going to cause any horsepower issues or anything like that. So we got the motor on the stand here. Now we're going to bring this motor out to the edge, and this motor is going to hang from that engine stand probably about right here. So then I will be able to swap everything out. But let me get some more oil drained out of that, as I already got most of it drained out by these 2 containers here, which we will drop off at the auto parts place later. But let's go ahead and get a little bit more oil drained out before we go ahead and flip this motor upside down. We are 2 bolts away from the oil pan being off completely, so let's go ahead and record it. Alrighty, we actually have the oil pan off, and everything actually looks really good in here. Now that's a little bit of coolant there from the water jackets, and the timing cover being off isn't a big deal. You know, we'll get that cleaned up before we reinstall it. But all in all, I'd say she was a pretty good motor. She definitely lasted very long, did everything we needed, and my phone is always ringing. I'm not sure if I actually specified, but this thing was labeled 1, 2, 3. Well, it's obviously reversed, that it needs to actually go 3, 2, 1. 1 being the closest one to you, and 3 being the farthest plate away. Versus when I did it, I thought 1 was the first plate on, then second plate, then the third plate. So it was a little error, you know, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna reverse it, I'm gonna change it, and we're gonna move on from here. But as of right now, I got the pickup tube and everything out, and man, does this motor look good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this guy is gonna get a heck of a motor. We all know that this motor was strong. Everything looks good. I pulled the pan off, everything looked good in the pan. I kind of cleaned it up already. Pickup tube, same thing. Everything looked really good in there. So we're moving along, guys. I'm trying to get this thing ready for the call out. If I don't make it, like I said, it's not a huge deal, but I would absolutely love to be there, and that's what we're striving for. So I'm gonna keep chugging away here, guys. I got a lot to do, and no real time to get it done. So the call out is Saturday, today is Tuesday, and we still got to get it to get tuned. So, and I'm still waiting on injectors. So who knows, guys? We might be there, we might not. So let me get back at it. Gotta pull this motor out now, get it on the hoist so I can drop the pan and put the pan up on here, and then we can get this one off and then start reassembling this one and ready to get dropped in. Alrighty, guys, we have the new motor on the stand. I already swapped over the pickup tube. These valley pans or windage trays, whatever you want to call them, actually look to be the same. I think I set it over there, but I just swapped this one over because this one had a little bit bigger of a cutout here, so I'm not sure. Plus down this rail here, see how it's like a solid one piece the whole way down through. On this side it wasn't solid. See how it like cuts there? So I wasn't sure if it was going to make a difference, and I didn't want to chance it, so we just tossed it in. I have RTV on. You can see you don't need a boatload of RTV on there to get it to seal. Just a little dab will do you. So we're going to go ahead and drop this on, and we're definitely making some great headway, guys. This motor should be ready to be laid in. Not 100% sure if I'm going to lay it in tonight. Like I said, I'm a little tired. I just came back outside after about an hour and a half of relaxing, so who knows. I still got to do the timing cover, which I have painted over here. I'll show you guys that real quick. But yeah, everything is looking great on this thing. Like everything is looking good. Painted that up. We also painted the headers, like I said earlier. But we're definitely making good headway. So I cleaned this up while it was here. This is actually another shield that goes in the oil pan. We're gonna bolt this on and get the clutch bolted on, and we should be ready to drop her in here soon, guys. Whew. All right, guys, well, this is where I am gonna end this video. If you are not subscribed, now is the time to do it, because we are coming to make serious power. I do want to explain why we chose the LQ9 to you know, use as our platform. But there it is, our 6.0 LQ9 is ready to go, ready to get bolted in. She is looking absolutely beautiful too. I cannot wait. Let me do you guys another solid here and let you see with the intake on. Oh man, guys, that is going to look absolutely killer. I am so excited. I cannot wait. Finally have everything coming together. Glad we actually got this painted, which the paint should help a little bit with the heat. Try to keep the heat in. Not going to be crazy, but you know, 5 degrees is 5 degrees, ain't it? So, all right, guys. Well, if you like the content, smash that like button. Please subscribe. And the next time you see this engine, it will be inside of this C5. So get excited, guys. We do have the old motor, the LS1, which was not blown up or anything like that. No issues or anything, but we did sell that to kind of set off some of the, I guess what we'll call, to kind of set off the price of doing this LQ9. So like I said, we are going to go forced induction, so that's why we chose this. It's just going to be a better baseline for when we add the turbos to it, and we can really then make some phenomenal horsepower. So smash that like button, guys. Please subscribe, and we will see you in the next upload.